Hey true believers, ENGLENTINE here with a review of Iron Man, Hong Kong Heroes. Yeah, if I'm going to hear it every time I read that title, you're going to hear it every time I read that title. Okay, let's look at the cover for Hong Kong Heroes. It's typical. Actually, it's very telling of what you're going to find inside, which is a painted comic book. It's an Iron Man comic book. Doctor Strange makes a guest star, as a matter of fact. He opens the book, and you find out that Baron Mordo is trying to steal a mystical artifact from Doctor Strange, and he's going to use mystical robots, to do it. And he's helped by Arnim Zola. So Doctor Strange decides to send that mystical artifact on over to Iron Man for him to take care of, because Doctor Strange can't exactly handle mystical robots. Now, okay, the story is just jam-packed full of plot without actually any story. Not only does it bring in Iron Man and Doctor Strange, but there's an entirely new character that's introduced here. And I guess it's to set up some sort of Iron Man Hong Kong, except for it's a woman in a suit that if somebody gives her a headshot, she's, well, you know, she's dead. One of the problems I find with this book also is the art. Now, granted, it's pretty. It's a painted comic book. But there's no movement. There's no momentum in the art. It's not sequential. It's just a bunch of painted pictures. And it feels that way. It really comes off as one of those magazines. I don't know if you guys remember, if you're old enough to remember. They used to have these magazines where they would take pictures from a movie and then put the dialogue over it. And it just, I don't know, it just looks very stagnant. And that's how the art feels in this book as well. It's just stagnant. But then again, so is the story. So it kind of fits. It's a perfect marriage of boring art and boring story. And that's hard to say when it looks good. I mean, look at this. These are some good paintings. But since it's supposed to tell a story and it doesn't, I gotta say, even though it looks pretty, it just fails. It's just boring. And that is a sin. That's an unforgivable sin. A comic book can be bad, but if it's boring, what is you gonna do? You know, and that's what we get here. Now, it does do a setup, and then the rest of it is almost pure action. And I guess it's okay for that. I wish this was either a lot better or a lot worse. But unfortunately, it's just so boring. And yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, by the way, I'm not a big fan of the way they designed Captain America for that. It looks like they're trying to do a kind of a what's going on in the movie, which makes me think, hey, movie tie-in. That's what this is for. It's just to show you, you know what's coming? The Avengers movie. And you know who's in the Avengers? Here you go, the Avengers. But you know who's most popular? Black Panther. But we didn't know that at the time, so we put Iron Man on the cover. I'll bet you money had they known this would be some sort of Black Panther book where he's going to Hong Kong. As a matter of fact, it starts off with Black Panther, the Hulk, and Iron Man before the rest of the Avengers show up. I don't know. Once again, to sum up, it is I guess sum up. I've got a few to talk about. I've got a little bit to talk about, but boring art. How can you make a painting so dull? And I go on about sequential art sometimes. I think it's very important for a comic book. It's what comic books are. You really should be able to turn every page and get the story from point A to point B without the dialogue. The dialogue, of course, and the story itself, the description boxes sell it all. But man, in the end, if you don't have good art and your boringest story, your story is boring, it's going to be just this bad. But that's just my opinion of Iron Man Hong Kong Heroes. What was your opinion? What do you think? Did you get this book? Did you read it? If you love this book, please tell me why. And I'm sure, once again, some people are going to defend the art. And don't get me wrong. Every individual picture looks nice. It's the fact that it just does not flow that I had a problem with. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, click share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because cool things happen around these parts, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of them. Especially what we do on Saturday nights at 9 o'clock. We have Comic Book Thunderdome, where we put a couple of geeks against each other, just basically to debate all those arguments we all had in the comic book shops themselves. Make sure you check it out. It's a lot of fun. Comic Book Thunderdome, 9 p.m. Eastern every Saturday night. And if you don't mind supporting the channel, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. The link is in the description below. And, of course, we've got tier rewards as well as the great graphic novel giveaway. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, we say thank you very, very much for watching.
Tony Stark makes you feel he's a cool exec with a heart of steel.
And Iron Man, all jets ablaze, he fights and fights with the counter race.